How to pick the right brokerage is one of the most asked questions among realtors, new agents getting their license, and everyone in between. What's going on, guys? Tony Angelos with eXp here, and I'm going to tell you about the questions that you should be asking yourself to determine what the right brokerage for you is in this new year coming up. So do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into it. So the first thing you need to consider, and this is, the most asked question, what is the split? Is there a cap? How does that look? Now, this really runs the gamut. There are 100% commission brokerages, which have no split. It means you get 100% of your commission for either a monthly fee or a transaction fee, but that is the business model. On the other hand, you can go somewhere where you might get like 50% of your commission. The company gets the other 50%, and then everything in between. Too many people get hung up on this idea of what the split is, and I see this happen all the time. The second question you need to ask yourself is whether or not you're going to go solo or join a team. Several companies and brokerages have very favorable solo models, maybe not so favorable team models, or vice versa. One thing to consider too is how the split and cap change if you join a team versus going solo. At many brokerages, those numbers do change. The cool thing about today's day and age is that we have kind of evolved from the traditional brick and mortar model only, where now we have these cloud-based brokerages like eXp, like Real, and I'm sure within the next year another one will probably pop up too, where they have the resources that might have only been available to teams like mentorship or access to high-profile producers. But you don't need to be on a team necessarily to get it, which is very cool and something to consider. Third question to ask is about the fees. Aside from the split, aside from the cap, there are sometimes going to be things like desk fees, additional transaction fees, and everything in between, CRM fee, tech fee, whatever it might be. So it's the fine print, right? It's like looking at a mortgage rate online and then seeing the APR is 1% higher because there's points involved. You need to be looking at the fine print and understanding what you're paying for, really. And if there's a cap on those fees too. The fourth question that you should be asking about is additional income opportunities. How else can you make money other than selling houses? At some companies, they will pay you to do showings. You could be a showing agent. They'll pay you to, do open houses. They'll pay you, for whatever thing. Sometimes they'll pay you for bringing people on to the brokerage, like a referral fee. But you need to be asking if there are other ways that you could be making money at a brokerage. If the only way that you can make money is by closing transactions, I would reassess and look at other options. At companies like Real, eXp, there are other companies now that have tiered revenue share or profit share programs like Keller Williams or HomeSmart has one too. Real People Realty, I think is what they're called. Like they have something too. Look at some of these options too, that they're going to provide you more long-lasting revenue outside of closing transactions, especially right now. Transactions are few and far between. There are a lot less today than there were a couple of years ago. Additionally, we have things like equity programs. Companies that are public might have other equity programs too. So look at the other ways that you can make money other than just closing transactions, because if that's your only opportunity, I would think again, personally. It's not a choice that I would make. The next question that I would ask them is about their training program. What does it look like? How involved is it? Is it hand-holding? Is it hands-on? Is it shadowing? Because the training program for a new agent especially is critical. I see this all the time. I see this all the time with people that I mentor where they come on as a new agent, they've never done a deal, they have no idea how to get business, they have no idea how to get clients. And when I pose the idea that maybe they should join a team, no, they don't want to give away their commission. But I'm like, what commission? You don't have any commission. Some training programs are very good, some claim that they're very good, and some just outright suck. Ask thoroughly about their training and what that looks like, and if it's ongoing, and how it aligns to your learning style. For us at eXp, we have 60 hours of live training through eXp World. But not everyone likes to learn on a Zoom call. Maybe that's not for you then. If you need to learn from, being in a conference, then that's okay. But you need to understand how you learn, and you need to find a place that's going to help suit your needs. The next question that I would ask about is support. A lot of times, people do not take into account how much support they'll actually need as a new agent or an agent in general. If you have a managing broker in your office and you have just like one managing broker, that's fine, whatever. But if they go on vacation, are you going to have coverage? Are they going to be able to answer their questions if they're hiking in the mountains or something like that? So if you could go somewhere that has support, especially for a new agent, for when questions arise, because they always do, that's going to be critical. I see this a lot. People will join either 100% brokerages that don't have any support, so you're just kind of, sink or swim, as long as you're paying their monthly fee, or limited support, which you see a lot in boutique brokerages, I would think about how that's going to affect you long term. Is support the most important thing? No, not to me. I rarely need support personally. I haven't been in a whole lot of situations where I needed it, but there have been situations that I needed it, and I'm thankful that I was able to get quick answers, both in my current brokerage and my previous brokerage too. And lastly, you need to ask about their culture. What does the company culture look like? How involved are they? Do they really care about the success of their agents? Because not a lot of people think about cultural, maybe some people do, but not a lot of people think about culture in the terms of an individual. Because for us, I'm of the opinion that your brand matters less. You are the reason that people are giving you business. You are the reason people are choosing to work with you, not because you're with Keller Williams or Century 21 or whatever, but because they like you. They know, like, and trust you. And that's a paramount and critical step in obtaining business. However, the culture behind the company that you work with is super important. If you're in an environment where the people that are guiding you and you're looking up to for leadership are lunatics, you're not going to perform. Culture matters. Culture matters. Who you work with matters. And that's why I recommend finding a mentor, not just a brokerage, but finding a mentor within a brokerage that you can work closely with, develop a relationship with organically, and really connect with. Because if you like who you work with, you like your mentor, you are going to succeed way more than normally. So do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you're thinking about changing brokerages in the upcoming year or, really ever, ask yourself these questions, because I know a lot of people who have picked wrong and it has ruined their career. They either leave the industry or they're just unhappy, go find another job, whatever. So the bottom line is there's not a one size fits all. There are so many types of brokerages, so many different models. We live in an amazing day and age where it's not just one shoe, and you can really find something that fits your personality, fits your needs, fits your long-term goals, and I wish you nothing but the best. Ask these questions when you're thinking about making a move, because I have seen too many agents make the wrong move, and it either dissuades them from the business entirely, forces them to leave, find another job because they just hate who they work with, or they're just bitter and unhappy. It's sad. You gotta like where you work, and even though this is your business and your brand, you still have to, I suppose you don't have to, but it still helps to have a community behind you. Thank you so much for watching. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and take care.